What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to be doing yet another Blender video, and in this video we are going to be learning about the sculpting tool, a very useful tool to be able to sculpt our models. And at the end of this video you are going to be able to make models such as this one, or should I say sculpted models. So now we are in the Blender. We are in our Blender, and now we'll start doing some sculpting. So to be able to make some sculpting, let's just go to editing mode here. So here we have our basic object, our basic 3D model. Now we just quickly want to add much more complexity, and what I mean by complexity is I mean like much more like a grid, to put many grids, many squares. So that's what is going to allow us to do sculpting, because first we have to shade it smooth. You can only do that out of editing mode. And here, okay, shade smooth. We have shade smooth now. Now we go back to editing mode and now click subdivide. Now it made a grid, right? Continue subdividing until you get like a number like this. That's perfect. Don't go when you can't see the grid, then it's way too much. Then you know when it's way too much. So now this is what you should not be doing, because if we do like this, then you can see it's really weird with our model here, and it will just, if we start sculpting, then if you don't have a powerful computer, and even with a powerful computer like mine, it will just crash. So you'd want to Control Z. Okay, so that's good. When you can at least see it from like a long distance, like this for example, when you can still see the grid, that's perfect. Now just click on sculpting and here we have it. So we have our basic perimeter, and so let's just go to edit mode, and yeah, we can see our perimeter. Today we'll be doing sculpting in the with a sphere, because we're going to be trying to make a face, like I showed you guys in the beginning of the intro of the video, somewhat like that monstrosity, you could call it, right? So let's just quickly make a sphere. And just a quick disclaimer for you guys: if you don't understand some things in this video, I would highly recommend you to watch my past videos, because you won't be able to follow along if you haven't tried Blender. Right. Alright, so now with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get right into it. So we start to subdivide it. Let's quickly smooth it out, and let's start sculpting. So here we can start sculpting. So what do we see first of all? We automatically come with this circle. But what does all of this do, right? So I'll quickly explain the layout. On this side, we have all of the brushes, all of the tools that we can use to sculpt our model. We have, so the default one is draw. Then you have like draw sharp. You don't really have clay, very useful. Clay strips. I don't know what is it called. Clay thumb. And if you want, you can do this, and now you see the names. And then you can do like inflate. Here you can do a blob. Here you can do layers, which is very useful, especially in my example. And multi-scrape, very useful to make like script stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of things. You might not know most of these things, which is normal. And seriously, I have been doing Blender for quite a lot of time. I would say probably like 2 years or something. Most of these things I don't even know, because most of these things you don't use, and also you maybe use them, but you might not know it like 100%, but most of the time you don't need to know what it does. You just put it on and you will see if it works. And then you can just do Control Z to see if it works. Undo what happened. Right, so it's pretty simple. You have many options here. You can paint it. By the way, this will not paint it. It will only paint it here in the sculpting view. It won't paint it for the actual mesh. Because if we were to press this, there's no color. So here, there's no color. Right. So let's just go back to sculpting and let's go to the yes. Right. So let's quickly undo all of this. So let's just make a new sphere, because this was our test sphere. And now I will explain to you guys the other things that you have in the basic UI. Right. So let's make a sphere, UV sphere. Let's quickly do the smoothing. Let's quickly do subdividing. Subdividing once looks pretty nice, yeah. And let's start covering what all of this does. So the radius is how big your circle is. Now you can make like a capsule, or should I say an egg. Strength is just how much it's going to do that. So for example, here I made a tooth, or I could say. So here you have the same things. You can rotate it. I never used this precision mode. Actually, I didn't even know that it existed. But right, so you can do many things with it. And just quick shortcuts for you guys if you want to do it without needing to do that. You just can hold F and choose your radius, and Shift F is the strength. Right. 1 is maximum strength, 0 is no strength, so it does nothing pretty much. You can see here. Right, so you can do that, and I would highly recommend you guys to use pens, like magic pens. They're called like stylists, on an iPad or something. I've never done that, but I've heard that it's a very recommended way to do it, because then you have pen pressure. And then here you can do like size pressure. I do not know what size pressure does. But right, it's a thing. I never used like these extensions. I never activated them because I never really used them. But what does this do? Strength. So this is automatically put on. I don't know. I don't see the difference. But right, it's a thing. And now to the two most important buttons of the whole sculpting. You have the plus. So that's when you're adding more material, more model of the more mesh. So of your mesh, you're adding more of it. You're sculpting it, so you're adding more. It's like if you were sculpting with clay, right? You'd use the clay and you'd transform your object, your model. Blender is like that, except it with a 3D model. So right, we're just doing the same thing here. And right, so that's plus when it adds more mesh. You might not understand, guys, but I'll show you guys what I mean by that. And here minus, it removes the mesh. You see, it goes in there. And here, for example, you can make a simple spirit, you could say, or something like that, right? All right, so you can make spirit. Then you can smooth it out. Let me quickly change the strength. Right, so you can smooth it out. And you can make all sorts of things as you want. You can clay strip it, but this is the minus, so it won't really do what I was, right, so, oh no, this is plus. So now with clay stripping it, which just adds, right, like a, yeah, So I showed you guys all of the basics, and here you can change some things. You can do add, subtract, but you can also do it up here. It's preferred to do it up here. Yeah, right. There are no shortcuts here. You could use textures. I never use textures because I'm still pretty new to the sculpting, but it's not that complicated actually, not at all. And here you might say, oh, I don't want this. Just take the smooth tool. Boom, smooth it out. Then you have many buttons that you can press. Just test things, guys. And yeah, then you can do whatever you want. And here you just, it's like the edit mode, where you have this button, and then you can just click on it to remove it. Except this is for the sculpting. So now without further ado, guys, let's get right into making a face. So I'll quickly put back my, okay, let's make a UV sphere. Smooth it out. Let's go to tab, subdivide. That might be a little bit too much. That's perfect. Let's go to now sculpting and watch the quick montage. So you see, guys, so now I just made a basic nose, and I'm trying to use this smooth tool to smoothen up, to try and make the pointy parts a little more in there. And I just want to say one quick thing. You can, when you move, so how sculpting works, it's just doing the same thing, except when you sculpt, it's just stretching out the vertices to make the mesh. So here, guys, we have like we have an old grumpy man here. I mean, I did say I was gonna make a human face. You might be wondering, where are the teeth and where are the eyes? Well, first of all, an old man does not have teeth. Second of all, guys, right. So second of all, eyeballs, that comes after sculpting. Right, so this was just a quick example for you guys on how we can use multiple tools to make a nice model. So I'll just quickly explain to you guys what I use most of this time. So I use like some clay. Well, actually, why don't we use some clay right now? To add some mesh there. I use a lot of the clay strips. Let's use that again then. Here, to put like some old look. That's a little bit, yeah. My idea is actually to make a fat guy now. Oh no! A golem. That's the thing. Okay, so guys, this is not gonna be human. I mean, it could have been, but I'm better at making non-human-like creatures because making human-like creatures, that is pretty complicated. But here I just made a pretty simple, pretty simple, kind of like ogre guy. I put him a nose, and yeah. So this is also the multi scrape to make him old and stuff. And look, put tension there. Oh shoot, no, but Shift F. What's the highest? 360. I don't see what this does, but Helps, I guess. Okay, and right, so this is just scraping some of this mesh out, and it doesn't look too realistic because we didn't put color yet and all, but it looks like our daily ogre that we'd see. I mean, how would you see an ogre anyways? So here we can use all of this scraping to really make him look ugly, burnt stuff. And right, so after in another video, I think that we're going to be making another video about this ogre. And we're going to be maybe give him like a club, yeah, and put eyeballs, hopefully. Textures. So yeah, this is the simple ogre that we made without any arms or legs, of course. Because we just put the face. That's just for the basics of the whole entire sculpting. And yeah, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this video and see you in the next one.